Good evening, folks. Welcome into our curtain raiser tonight. The Mini Maroons up against the Baby Blues. It is the best of the minors in here tonight in what promises to be an enthralling three-match series. If you're not aware, full SRL rules tonight, so substitutions, everything that you get in the big leagues is in here tonight for the best of the rest in our Mines players. A fitting send-off for these Mines who were toiling hard trying to make the SRL, but unfortunately that won't be happening with the rebirth of SRL 2.0, but a final hit out and a final hurrah for a lot of these players. I am Snicko Bro, my name is now. I've had a recent name change. Joined by another name changee, Josh Pretzel in the box. Tell me who you're looking out for in this one, Pretzel.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm having the pleasure of being the Mines Commissioner. I've got to look kind of through most of these guys and how their careers started. One person you'd have to probably look out for on the New South Wales side would be the fullback, Bailey Munro-Johns, who also had a name change recently. Sticking with that same theme, he's been someone that's been a part of our system for a little while. And I'd have to say Harrison Coward on the other side. Again, someone who's been electric, but also a part of the system for a while.
Yeah, I'm partial to Jimmy Lopez on the Queensland team myself. He had a electric SRL debut a couple of seasons ago, and then sort of fell off the radar, but he's just been plugging away in the Mines. And you're right, Harrison Coward, he's been there for a while as well. He'll be doing some good things as the Maroons make an early error with a knock on there off Tyler Doonan. Also someone I think who's been around for a while, might have come back recently. Is that correct, Pretzel?
Yeah, he's actually come back at the beginning of this season. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 seasons away, but he's come back at the beginning. Melbourne Ravens player, I believe. Yeah,
and so he'll be looking to have a bigger of an impact. He's a bit older as Anderson gets a nice little bump off there. And I think one thing that will be interesting is how these 16s and 17s are used. As Cashman gets out of half end, Bates one before he's brought down in a tackle. You said Bailey Munro-Johns has been in the Mines for a while, Josh. Why would you say that is?
Yeah, look, it's interesting. I myself not quite around why he's still in the Mines, but I'm sure he's enjoying being in the Mines. It's a different system. You get to kind of learn the game a bit better than when you get kind of thrusted into first grade.
Yeah, that's Dan James on the wing there with a great catch himself to give us 7 tackle set there. And as one of the experienced players, he'll be looking to really have an impact on this game as Dion Johnson has brought down about 25 out from the Queensland line. I am a New South Welsh man, so perhaps I am biased in this, but I just got to say, I think they have a bit more class tonight, Josh. You've seen these players play a lot more than I have, but just when I was running through the team list, it just seemed like they could be the team to beat tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe New South Wales are also the incumbent winners. They won last season's. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure what happened there. That was interesting.
Double Falcon. One for each of the Queenslanders' heads.
Jeez. But as I was saying, New South Wales, they're obviously looking to retain the shield. But I'm actually quite excited for both sides. Both sides look pretty strong, both in the forward packs. I feel like New South Wales has got the edge in the backs and the forwards by a slight margin. But I still think we're going to be in for a cracker of a game.
Yeah, so in the backs and the forwards, so the whole team you're saying New South Wales have the edge. So we'll have to see what happens as Johnny Walker's brought down there, about 22 out from the Queensland line, and it'll be up to the New South Welsh team to sort of make a mark with these kicks. The first one was a bit deep. Jakiki Kyles here hasn't. He puts up a very well-placed bomb. They get a lot of bounce, and Harrison Coward's now into the backfield. A sense of foot race. Harrison Coward's over the 40. The opposing wing is getting across, and he makes a tackle, a good one, but a good 55-metre run from Coward there has put the Queensland team on the attack for the first team tonight. And Lopez takes full advantage of it, getting right to the line before he goes off to Brody James, who's brought down there about 33 from the line. Right again now, Lopez 2 touches in the set, out to Coward. He beats another tackle. Coward is on fire so far early. Bailey Munro-Johns brings him down. About 10 from the line. 2 tackles to play with for this Queensland team. Oh, and a big hit. Tyler Doonan. Alex Neil goes bang early in this game. Anyway, now Dion Johnson out to Lopez. He wants an early try, looking for the barge over. No, some good defence there. They get around his ankles, and it means he's out of commission for this last tackle. Might be the lock to kick, could be the half. I'm not sure. It's going to be no one. Dion Johnson was just way too flat on that ball, and a good rushing New South Wales defence got him. But some early warning shots there from the Queensland team. They're starting to fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Their forward pack's been really strong so far in this first 10 minutes, and that's kind of how we saw that set end there. Unfortunately, Digby Johnson got in the way and prevented any kick.
Apologies, Digby. I'll do my best to get these names right as we go. I'm still learning. It's Munro-Johns there. Throws a bit of a dummy. Dion Johnson, I don't know where that came from. If that's not his actual name, apologies, Digby. Digby Johnson, another one. He's been around for a while. Tell me more about him, Pretzel.
Yeah, Digby was he was the Cowboys development player at the back end of last season, and then yeah, we moved into this season. He was pretty standout, and obviously he was one I was looking forward to seeing how he progressed and when he came into the SRL. But unfortunately, that all got halted when rugby league decided.
Oh, Bailey Munro Johns leveled.
Welcome
The
to
SRL
Suncorp,
server
mate.
says thank you. Yeah, that was a try. I saw that happening. I thought Munro Johns was going to steam over there with a couple of left foot, right foot magic, but instead I think it was Josh Drains who absolutely killed him, and he doubles up there, runs straight past. I think it's the 10 from New South Wales. Mitch Barnes,
Childs,
maybe
I believe
even.
that was.
Oh, Jakiki Childs, who actually had a nice run himself. So they're starting to open up here. The Mines boys, they find their rhythm finally in this game. It's taken the better part of 15 minutes. But they've come to play now, especially this Queensland team. Fourth tackle, they might look at a 40-20. No, Lopez wide to Doonan, and he goes almost through a hole. Jeez. Done well there. I think that's Lachlan Martin Jr. in the tackle to stop that one, because I thought he was through for all money. And now, anyway, Digby Johnson goes downfield, and it's probably... Is this a Dion Coleman's first chance?
This is a Dion.
With the ball. Yeah, maybe I just got my D's mixed up. Unsure. Anyway, Dion Coleman, he's made some good tackles earlier, but couldn't really do anything now as Cashman takes a run. And he's brought down about 31 out from his own line. So it's up to New South Wales now to see if they can make some early meters. Lachlan Martin Jr. is going to be brought down on the 40-meter line. I think he's the only 99 speed potential player in the forward pack for either team, Pretzel.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. I don't have the stats on hand, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they'd be looking to see him make an impact in that role, as Mitch Barnes is brought down about 42 out from the line. And interesting to see Barnes playing in the 12, Pretzel. It's typically a understated role, a lot of defense, not a lot of attack. Is that where you saw the captain putting himself?
Yeah, I actually believe it was a decision the mentor, Ryan Wilmot, decided to make. I think he felt that out of the options he had for second row, Mitch Barnes better suited that there.
Oh, Neil again. Sorry to cut you off, Pretzel. Neil, very early on in this game, has done a fair bit of damage, and I do like to see it as a prop myself. As now Johnny Walker capitalises. He scores a very, very simple try. They just had the numbers down the short side. Great work from the Blues to spot that one, and he goes over untouched. Jaden Walker, apologies. Johnny Walker, I like my alcohol. Johnny Walker, sorry, that one's in my brain. Anyway, Jaden Walker with a terrific try. And that'll be the Blues up 4-0 early.
Yeah, great field position that they end up getting in that set there, off the back of that Alex Neil monster tackle. And yeah, look, being able to convert from that is great. Obviously, State of Origin, it's a different ball game, and these Mines players have probably never, only some of them would have experienced it last season, as we only had that one game. So it's good to kind of see this. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Zach Robertson converts to make it a 6-0 lead. Queensland, I thought they were starting to arrest the momentum in this game until Alex Neil, well, he rather imposed himself, didn't he, with that big hit. Probably trading one back, getting one back for his superstar fullback, Munro Johns, who was levelled a couple of moments earlier. And with only 3 minutes left in his stint, and that of the other prop forwards, you've got to say it's been Alex Neil's first 20 minutes. I'll have to see. Sorry, it's James Anderson. Pretzel, you got to keep me accountable, because I'm getting my players wrong. James Anderson, I've been singing the praises of Alex Neil, and it's been James Anderson who has been absolutely dominating this clash.
Well, you want me to keep my players in check? It's Jack Anderson.
Jack Anderson, he has 2 minutes left in his stint, I promise. There's Alex Neil, who is the halfback for the Blues, is he?
Yeah, he is the number 7.
Yeah, I swear to God I read these team lists, but I guess the brain's just not quite engaged. There's Anderson there, he's with a nice little break, and there's one diving. He gets the pass, mate. Anderson goes to Martin Jr., who offloads the end. I tell you what, Anderson's making up for lost time, getting his name in the lights. He's a dead set superstar in the making. Sadly, his career will be cut short like the rest of these players. As now they go, and it's Bailey Munro Johns underneath it, sails above the opposing fullback and comes down with the goods.
Let's have a look at this replay again.
Holy smokes. Get out of the way, Robertson. We don't see it completely, but
Yeah.
Munro Johns comes out of nowhere to touch the heavens with that leap, and that's going to be 12-0 early. Queensland, and I actually don't hate to say this, I love to say this, in a big hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Queensland a bit shell-shocked. It's not often you see Queensland shell-shocked at their home, the spiritual home of rugby league, according to them. I
think this is actually Finn's property until SRL 2.0, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a dispute you can have with outgoing captain. I'm not sure. I can't remember what happened with the end of the season captains.
1.0 captain.
You can have that argument with Jack. I heard he loves
Jilly
an argument.
Hilly, I believe he goes.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. Jilly Kahili loves a bit of a chin wag.
Anyway, Doonan is going to kick off for the third time tonight, and some fresh props on the field for the Blues, and it's going to be Whittaker, the first to take it. And that was a bit of a risky pass, but I suppose the Blues are feeling themselves at the moment. A bit of razzle-dazzle football led to that try. Now Alex Neil, he wants his name called out properly this time. He's brought down 32 in the chart. I tell you what, that poor bloke's going to have heard me calling him as a prop for the first 20 minutes and just be wondering. Now Robertson throws a big dummy. Yeah, the Blues have come to play tonight, that is for sure. Third tackle, about 45 out from the line. They want the inside ball here. Munro John straight through a big hole. Good tackle by Harrison Coward to bring him down. I thought for a moment we were going to see a bit of a shimmy there and go the length of the field, but instead we don't see it. And now Robertson goes wide to Martin Jr.
Just remind me, Snicko, what's the prop changes again at the 20th minute? Is it 15-16 or is it 14-15?
14 and 15 have entered the field as Robertson goes downfield. And it's going to be Hills bringing it back. I won't even pretend to know his first name, Pretzel.
That's Eden Hills.
You know, I actually thought that, but I was nervous to say after my shocker so far tonight. Anyway, they go right back to Eden Hills' edge. Instead, it's Tyler Doonan who is brought down. And we saw Pancake Gamer touch the ball there as well, coming off the bench for the Maroons. As now Digby Johnson goes to Basserman, the other Queensland prop, who has entered the field. And there's a held-in tackle penalty, and that is reckless from the Blues. Will Queensland take the 2? Jimmy Lopez says no, and probably a good idea. Chasing 12 points, they can get some good field position here as he barely makes touch in the end, but Dion Coleman on the wing unable to do anything about it as Jimmy Lopez now plays a little short border. Trent Martin brought down 20 metres from the line. Queensland, they're building their set here. Tyler Doonan spots the half gap and pokes his head through, but someone's on his back to bring him down. 10 out from the line now. Lots of tackles to play with. They go left. It's Martin again. He wants one of these barge over tries. Probably the staple of SRL 1.0. Oh, and they throw a forward pass. Basserman is way too keen. And unfortunately for Queensland, that is not how you score a try.
He's held there. That's one. Move!
Yeah, absolutely. As we see one Alien who's entered the field, and Martin Jr. with a big breakaway.
Say that again for me.
That's your second.
Alien.
Alien.
Yep.
Yeah, right. There's some strange people in the lines. Anyway, Jakiki Charles is brought down. We used to have a rule about names not being too weird, but I guess that fell out the window. Jaden Walker's brought down there. Who calls themselves Alien Press?
The number 15 for New South Wales, I guess.
Yeah.
We've had some great names this season. We had a Hugh Mann. Obviously, Pancake Gamer is another staple name. Ghost Rambo, I think. Yeah, Ghost Rambo.
I do like Ghost Rambo. Oh, Coward's away.
Number 4.
Shut the gate. Harrison Coward, you're not going to stop him from here. And some weak kick chase from the Blues have led to the Maroons' first strike. Coward, Pretzel caught him as a superstar early in this game. He's just shown it there. Way too easy, straight down the middle.
Absolutely, and you love and hate to see it. As a New South Wales fan as well, I hate to see it, but for the game, it's great to see Queensland get back into this. You always love a nice close Origin match, and they're going on the way to do this.
I actually don't. I hate them. I would much prefer we win by 30. Anyway, who was that chasing from the Blues? Because they seem to jump directly onto the back of Harrison Coward there, studs up, after he put the ball down. So a bit of Origin niggle there. You'll love to see it. It might have even been Ghost Rambo, the centre. But it didn't quite catch his number as Doonan converts, and that brings it back to a 6-point game. Pretty much out of nowhere. They've struck here as Zach Robertson is going to look to kick us off. 10 minutes left in this half. Do you see more points? Or do you reckon we'll settle back into that grind that sort of epitomised the first 15 minutes?
It's really hard to predict this with the lines. Like with an SRL game, for a first grade game, you could kind of pick where it's going to go, but I don't know. The amount of mines I've watched, I still can't pick it. You get some weird stuff that happens.
Yeah, not wrong. It's Pancake Gamer that he's brought down there about 19 out from his line. They go deep here. Tyler Doonan didn't really want to borrow that, but they gave it to him anyway. And he's brought down about 2 metres adjacent to where the original tackle was made. They go left again now. Digby Johnson goes to Trent Martin. Brought down in a good tackle by Mitch Barnes. And they're not really going anywhere, this Queensland team. They're going to want to put a wiggle on here. And they go to the man himself, Coward, to do it. He goes past one, but some good tackling there from Zach Robinson brings him down. They're in a bit of trouble here, Queensland. They need a big line break. They don't get one. Pancake Game is brought down on the 40, so a great defensive set from the Blues. Sort of halted this Queensland momentum, and with a big kick return here, we could be seeing a different story at halftime. That's a dead set shank. Jaden Walker comes down with a beats one. Jaden Walker into the backfield. Stay away from the touchline, Jaden. He does well, but he's put the Blues on the attack. First tackle, 35 out from the line. Fullback out of commission. What can they do? Lachlan Martin Jr. Tries to burrow through, but doesn't quite get there. The Blues with some momentum now. Bailey Munro-Johns, he goes through. The fullback's not at home. He's going to get through. Bailey Munro-Johns has a double-barreled surname with a double in the first half. You need your superstar players to stand up, and Bailey Munro-Johns has done that tonight.
Absolutely, he seems to be a bit of a state of origin merchant. I believe he had a cracker of a game in last season's Origin, so he's continuing that form. He's been great for them at fullback so far this evening.
Yeah, well, you'd have to think if you are playing your second year of second grade Mines, you're going to have a big impact on the game, and that's exactly what they've got from him tonight as Robinson tries to convert. And just like that, the 12-point margin is back in this game. Queensland chasing points again. And I've got to say, it's not looking promising for them at the moment. Of course, game one in the series, a lot to play for still, yet in this game for the win, and even in terms of series, try and get some momentum into game two. Which is where, Pretzel? Is it in Perth or is it in Melbourne?
I don't know if it's been decided yet, but the front runner, I believe, is Adelaide.
Adelaide?
Well, Perth's not available for us to use, and neither is Melbourne.
Yeah, but Adelaide is rubbish. He has Whittaker now with a nice line break. He's brought down 29. You said my stimulator played Adelaide. I might go on strike. Yes, now Mitch Barnes, he gets a line break. The right second rower trying to show that you can make it work from that much defensive orientated position. Anyway, now the Blues, they're on the attack after points again. Neil goes long ball to Robertson, and he almost breaks a tackle, brought down 40 odd from the Queensland line. They go right again here. Martin Jr. ball playing out to Whittaker. It was his line break that started this set. Fourth tackle, 25 out from the line. One good run will set him up for a kick. So they go to the left second row to do it. Lachlan Martin Jr. He loses the contact. Brought down 25 out. Can Robertson put a bomb up? It might be just outside his range. Or will we see Bailey Munro-Johns fly through the air once again? They go to Robertson. He puts in a grubber. I like it. Cashman picks it up. But some good defense from the Maroons. Brings him down about 9 out from the line. And that was definitely some tackles that they had to make there, Pretzel.
Yeah, absolutely. Queensland, they got them on. New South Wales got Queensland on the ropes here. They nearly got through. They nearly got through on that grubber kick, and I actually liked that. Good way to turn over the ball, make them work for it.
Yeah, eliminates the kick return as well. As the Maroons go left now, Doonan out to Basman. He's brought down in a tackle. I got to say they need more from their star players, Queensland. So far, Coward. He's been their one and only. They need their halves and their hooker to stand up as Eden Hills is brought down there. Perhaps even their lock, Digby Johnson's been outplayed so far by Childs from the Blues. So maybe he can have a crack as this game goes on, as Pancake Gamer is brought down there for probably the last touch of the game, pending substitutions as Doonan kicks. Bit of a shank. It's going to make its way down to Dion Coleman. He has a broken line. Straight past one, Coleman. Coward's not there. But some good coverage from the inside gets to him. The Blues, they might not have time to make advantage of this great field position. Starting their set well inside the Maroons half. Matt Munro-Johns wants to go early. A minute left on the clock. It'll be one tackle, two at most. They go right again. Robertson, right to the line, goes to Anderson. He's brought down 22 out from the line. 30 seconds left. Right they go. Robertson, ball playing. Jakiki Childs. He's going to need to get up fast here to play this ball. Does it easy. Plenty of time. Right, one more time. Barnes, inside ball. Munro-Johns. That was it for the Blues. That was their chance. He saw it coming, but instead we're going to half-time. 18 points to 6. Welcome back, team. Hope you enjoyed your toilet break. The lines are long at Suncorp, but we got back just in time for a second half of Lions Origin. The Blues comfortably ahead, but some interesting substitutions from both teams. Perhaps going to bring this one back. I think we had a look at the stats at half-time. The only one I would like to say is possession is about 60-30, 68-32, with Queensland making 30 more tackles than the Blues. Oh, and that is one of them. Alien absolutely hammered there. But it does mean that a lot of the Queensland players are looking quite fatigued. To watch out for Digby Johnson with a whopping 24% of fitness left. He's going to be in hard injury territory. Our injury is on, Pretzel.
Can we get into full SRL rules? There are injuries.
Yeah, so he might actually die in the second half on field. We'll have to wait and see, because that is dire. And it's really an artifact of all the tackling they've had to make. Because now Martin Jr. goes through a big hole and gets a nice offload away to a run strat. And yeah, I think just with the way that these players are composed in terms of not playing a whole lot of big minute games like this and high intensity games, Queensland could be in a bit of trouble here, because if they keep fatiguing heavily, could turn their defence into a bit of a Swiss cheese situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, like you mentioned, they're not used to playing these big minutes, and they're also not used to having substitutes available. So I'd imagine that would quite heavily impact their game plan and kind of how they play it.
Yeah, it means that some of these players, for example, Digby Johnson, he's coming up against a fresh player, I believe, in the 13 for the Blues. So it's not like he's just coming up against someone else who's a bit tired. He's going to have to work his backside off here for the next 25 minutes to try and keep Queensland in this game. And not a bad set from them after points, to be fair, as Brodie James is going to play it here. And a good kick chase could make things look really good for them. They go downfield. Dion Coleman's been the kick return target a couple of times now. And they've handled him pretty well. A good tackle there from Harrison Coward. But it's these next couple of tackles that are really determined if they can contain New South Wales' set. And that's a good start. Mitch Barnes can't really go anywhere. They go right now. They're going to try and work a short side. Inside ball to Munro Johnson. He's monster there. So Queensland, they've done some video at half-time. They've said that he's a danger man. They go deep now. Alex Neil throws a yuck cutout ball to Ron Strat. Luckily, there's no interceptions there. And New South Wales, they've got a bit pretty this set. Haven't really gone anywhere. So they go to Robertson. He straightens the attack slightly, but good set there from Queensland. They're going to make New South Wales kick from well inside their own half. It goes to Arun Strat, who's into that lock position now to face off against Digby Johnson. And Eden Hills is on the kick return, and wow, great one-on-one tackle there. Stops him right in his track, and Queensland, once again, have to truck it out of their own half. Tyler Kernke is brought down. Sorry, Kirk, not Kernke. Is brought down on his side of halfway. Now Brodie James. Who do you think can break this game open from either side, Pretzel?
I mean, look, safe bet would probably be the fullbacks. Obviously, they kind of broke the game open in the first half.
Safety overrated.
Safety's overrated. I'd probably have to say, that Queensland middle. Obviously, it could either break them open in a good way, or they could lose their 13 early, and it could open up in the bad way. So I'd have to say the middle for Queensland's going to be the difference maker here.
Yeah, that's some good kick defense, actually, from Queensland. We didn't really see that in the first half, but they've done well here. 2 tackles, and New South Wales only 15 out from their line. So the Queensland middle, they're muscling up at the moment as Arun Strat gets it now, and he goes straight at Digby Johnson. They bring him down about 25 out from his line. Geez, that's a long time in the tackle, but no penalty. New South Wales now, they go right. Robertson out to Munro Johns. He goes deep to Alex Neil, who is not a prop, playing halfback, 32 out from his own line. They might look at a 40-20 here. No, Arun Strike goes to Mitch Barnes, and he's brought down. So once again, Queensland done a good job containing New South Wales, and inch by inch, they're making their way down this field every set. As Robertson kicks it, it's a bit of a stinker. Straight down the throat of Coward. What can he do? Straight past one. Good coverage tackled there. Inside blindsided him slightly, and he couldn't go past, but it means Queensland are once again on the attack, and Brodie James with a nice little bump off there, and a high tackle. I like that. Let them know what's going on in this game, and they're going to kick the 2 here. They're scared, Queensland. They don't want the contact. They're taking the break. They're going to reset. I've got to say, it's 2 points to Queensland, but it's a win to New South Wales, Pretzel.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Nico. Obviously, taking a big hit like that with still about 25-30 minutes left to play, you'd probably expect your team to go for the try, not 2 points, not the easy way.
Yeah, they do some funny things in these rugby league simulations. That's one of them. Could pay dividends. Who knows? Maybe they win 20-18. They probably don't though, which is why you want to go for the tries. Now it's going to be Zach Robertson to kick off for the third time this match. And Queensland, they're going to want to continue the momentum, disregarding the decision to not play on. They were making their way downfield quite nicely as Jimmy Lopez gives himself a 15-metre run before he passes backwards to Brodie James, who was just concussed only moments ago. Not much sort of play well for it. Now Josh Strange gets a big bump off. He didn't really have an impact in the first half, but he's going to try and have one right now, that is for sure. Queensland starting to roll downfield. They're defying the odds. Coward now. Geez, they needed a line break from him there. Instead brought down 42 out from his touch try line is the word I'm looking for. Digby Johnson now. Gone through a mountain of work. A bit more there for him. Now to Tyler Doonan. He's going to be out of commission for the kick. Will it be Timmy Lopez? No, he's sitting a bit wide. I think it'll be Digby just to the left of the ruck there. No, they go right. Fraser O'Neill is going to kick it.
That's a monster of a kick.
That's a pretty good kick. Maybe they need to have a look at him a bit more often. And he kick chases even better. So Fraser O'Neill trying to impose himself on the game from the centre position. Robertson now goes to Munro Johns. He beats one, but a second one brings him down. Looking a bit tired as he plays that ball. Ailey Ann now is brought down. 25 out from the Blues line. They're doing it tough in this second half, the Blues. They haven't quite come out of the sheds yet. Can they heat up? I guess we'll wait and see. Arun Strat there, absolutely monstered in the tackle. He's fresh legs, but not really having the impact you'd hope. And now they go right again. Neil, he's going to try and do it himself. Brought down a good tackle there. Jimmy Lopez and some help. And once again, the Blues kicking from deep in their own half. They're going to need a better kick than what they produced before. And it's Munster Mash who tries to find some green pasture, but instead it's Eden Hills who's there to bring it down. And once again, they're starting their set from about the halfway mark. Pretzel, is there a twist in this tail? Is the Queensland team going to finally show up this second half?
Look, with more runs like that from the captain, Harrison Coward, absolutely Queensland going to show up. They've, like you said, I think we've had 3 sets in a row where they've kept them in their own 40. So they're just, I don't know what's happening at halftime break. They've given Digby Johnson some magic water because I don't know how he's still motoring.
Yeah, the magic sponge doing all sorts of wonders. Now Mike Tyson brought down 12 out from the line. And the Blues, they're going to want to get their kick defusal suits on right now because danger signs for them. They go to Digby Johnson, and I'll tell you what, drag him already. He's got 7 minutes left on the field, but he's just dropped that one clean. And the Blues let off the hook there. And Arun Strat now goes for a bit of a run. Yeah, the Blues have definitely dodged a bullet there. The momentum was building. We'll have to wait and see if they can get out of their own half these set as Martin Jr. forces forward, struggles forward for a couple of metres there. They're going to work the short side now out to Jaden Walker. He goes past one, Jaden Walker, then runs straight his opposing winger. He wanted the one-on-one battle. He doesn't win it though. Brought down just the Queensland side of halfway. They go right now. Short pass out to Martin Jr. He doubles up on his efforts. 4th tackle. They're into the Queensland half. Great stuff, New South Wales. They're going to look to go wide here. 2 pass out to Alien, and they go straight over one. Alien with a bit of an impact there. That'll be their last run of the game. We'll see him exit the field shortly. They go right now. Zach Robertson puts in a grubber, a really good grubber, but it's Dan James who's going to be there, and Bailey Munro-John has to make the tackle. He does. 20 out from the Queensland line. The best set New South Wales have put together for a while as we see some prop substitutions run on. It's going to be Brodie Townsend who comes in to make the tackle. I think it'll be, Tanvir Papapoulos back on the field playing prop, along with a friend, as now Digby Johnson takes what will likely be one of his last runs for the set and for the game. For the Blues, Ghost Rambo back on the field. I'm not sure who else. We'll have to wait and see. Some strange substitutions have led to some strange subbing patterns, but Queensland now are kicking from inside their own half, or just outside it. Jimmy Lopez, that is an offside penalty. That is a dead set offside penalty. The Queensland team have dodged one there. But nonetheless, they're going to be forced to defend now as Dion Coleman goes down the short side. The Blues starting just about on the halfway line. They go left. Munster Mash goes to Alex Neil. James Anderson back on the field. He is the wrecking ball Pretzel, and he's back to do some damage. Jack Anderson.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Anderson, we misnamed him earlier, and he came back after we correctly identified him, and he had a good couple minutes, and then he's come back on and he's done that so far.
Yeah, you don't often see it from an 8 in the SRL just to have the impact, but he's having a big game now. There's going to be a 6 again here. Jack Anderson cleans up. So he's got good hands as well, the young man. Brought down 9 metres out from the line. Queensland will be hard pressed to keep out New South Wales here. They go to Alex Neil. He might try and barge over from there. No. Brought down a couple of metres short of the line. They got numbers left. They're going to spread it. No. Arun Strat unable to get the pass away. They just got to send it out to Lachlan Martin Jr. and let him get to work. Is that where they go? No. Right. Alex Neil. Wow. Real nice pass there. Mitch Barnes is going to fall on his back. Third tackle. We'll say held up, I believe. Yeah, Will Kay. Great call. New South Wales. A little chance to reset here. Third tackle. They go left. One pass. Ghost Rambo. He wants to run himself. Ghost Rambo's going to push forward here. Wow. Millimeters back from the line. Surely they spin it left now. Yes. But no, they can't find their second rower in Martin Jr. Instead, it's going to be up to their lock to kick. I think it'll be a Ron Strat. No, Alex Neil's got in there. He puts in a really nice grubber. But Trent Martin's there to clean it up. Bit of a dog's breakfast that set from the Blues. But they've put the ball in a good spot and they're going to make Queensland work out from their own half, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. As we reach that mark where I believe should have seen Digby Johnson leave the field. He managed to escape the field in one piece. Always a good sign. But yeah, Queensland have got their work cut out from 4 tackles gone and they're still in their 30.
Yeah, and they're going to work the short side to try and get away with it. Dan James is brought down about 40 metres out from his own line. So a good kick return here could do wonders for the Blues. They go to Jimmy Lopez. He goes downfield. Bailey Munro-Johns is all over it, but straight past the first line of attack. Tries to turn Coward inside out, but the head to his feet. Then a good tackle. Coward brings him down. But once again, the Blues starting inside the Maroons half. And we saw Jay McBob also back on the field. I think he's playing lock now for the Blues. As Neil goes out to Munro-Johns. He beats one there. Coward gets him again. They'll be well acquainted after this game. A lot of time in close proximity tonight. They go left the Blues now. Neil out to Jay McBob. He'll be brought down about 10 metres out from the line by the time he finds his front. Playing it now. They've stacked the short side here. Instead, Jono Cashman gets out a half. Is he going to push over Jono Cashman? No. A metre from the line. A lot of pressure on the New South Wales kick here. He goes to McBob. He puts up a very well-placed bomb. And Harrison Coward's there. Of course he's there, but he's going to be forced back into his in goal. I can feel the pressure tightening on this Queensland team, Pretzel.
Absolutely. We're coming in the final 9-10 minutes, 10 points to go. We're in a bit of a shootout here. And Queensland, they're looking to be outgunned at the moment.
Yeah, the old brought the knife to the gunfight. Jack Anderson is the gun. That's what I found tonight. Let's go. Rambo takes it up there. Forget a gun. He's more like a bazooka the way he's been putting up big hits. Now they go outside, inside. I thought that floated forward from Munro-Johns. Who are referees, Pretzel? Do we need to investigate them?
No, I feel like we've mitigated pretty well. We've got Will Kay and Sonny Tyre as the middle referees, and then Justin Monkey and I'm not sure who we put on the other side actually. I'm not sure who's on the other side, but Justin Monkey's one of them, and then there's a New South Wales representative from the other side. So pretty well represented is Lachlan Martin Jr. He's just popped that nail in the coffin there, I'd have to say.
I think, yeah, that was exactly what we were looking for a couple of sets ago. Just spread the ball out to the second row and watch him do his thing. Lachlan Martin Jr. there, following in the footsteps of his famous father. With a very nice try. It was a good ball from half. Jono Cashman just pierced the defensive line. And that could be all she wrote for Queensland, barring a miracle comeback, which I just don't see happening. 8 minutes to go, 16 points in it following this kick. I think that could be all she wrote.
Absolutely. Mind games, a lot of weird things happen, but I've not seen, what would this be? Geez, math's not my strong suit, no, but I've not seen it come back that big in 8 minutes, especially in the mines.
16 points, Pretzel.
Yeah, I was going to get there. I just didn't want to look like an idiot.
Had to take your shoes off you're running out of fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, look, 16 points is a big thing to overcome. I've not seen it happen in 8 minutes. So, look, hats off to them if they can make it happen. We've seen weird things happen.
Yeah, this would just about be the weirdest, though, you'd have to say. As Munro-Johns goes to Ghost Rambo, he'll be brought down about 20 out from his own line. And so I suppose I'm not all over the rules, Pretzel, but you could inform me. Are these guys able to change their squads for round 2? The Mines game 2?
Yeah,
absolutely. Do you reckon we'll see any changes from either team?
I'm not too sure. I believe New South Wales would probably look to keep the same formula. Queensland, I'm not too sure. I mean, there's not a lot for them to work with, really. They've They've
The
got
cupboard
actually
is bare.
they've got a smaller pool of players to choose from, Queensland. So I'm not sure how much changes we'd see, but they absolutely have the flexibility to make changes if they desire.
Yeah, and perhaps they don't have the capacity in terms of play number, but they got to change something.
Oh,
whether
he's just
it's,
dropped that cold.
He has clean dropped that. Whether it's positional changes, maybe switching your halves around, a different player into lock. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure. Who's the Queensland mentor? Is that Wilmot?
No, so that'd be Anthony Lee. He's taken the reins for Queensland, and Ryan Wilmot took the reins for New South Wales.
Gotcha. Yeah, good luck, Anthony. You got a challenge on your hand to make this competitive in game 2, because at the moment, it just looks to us like men versus boys on the field, or really SRL players like minors. Is how this game has felt as Trent Martin goes for a bit of a run. There has been some bright spots for Queensland, though. You can't deny that. Harrison Coward has been tremendous at the back. Unfortunately, as he goes for a little line break himself there, unfortunately, they just haven't been able to get around in this Queensland team in the same way that New South Wales have got around Bailey Munro Johns. And I think that's just about the story for tonight, as Josh Strange gets in the way of that one. And he's brought down about 50 metres out from the line. 2 minutes left in this game. Just playing for pride here now. And to start the Pats as Lachlan Martin Jr. goes through a bit of a run. It's really, there's no glory left in this game, that is for sure. The Blues now going right. Robertson goes to Alex Neil. He goes to Munro Johns. A good tackle, though, brings him down just shy of the 30-metre line there. They're defending well here, Queensland. Too little, too late, though, perhaps, as Dion Coleman comes in field for a carry, trying to help the forwards out. They're tired after a monster effort so far this game. They go left again now. Neil finds his halves partner in Robertson. Brought down 45 out. Fourth tackle down. Look at a 40-20. I don't see him in position, no. Instead, it's going to be McBob. Ball playing to Anderson, who has been absolutely tremendous here. And they'll look to kick here with their last use of the ball. The Blues, Queensland, with a chance to put some lipstick on this pig with a kick return try, perhaps, as Dan James can't do that. He's brought down here. The siren goes in the background. The Blues celebrate 24 points to 8 winners in a dominant game 1. The Queensland Maroons will be dead set up against it in game 2. And I think that everyone wearing blue tonight in this Mines team should be very proud of their efforts.
Absolutely. Both teams, absolutely. They left it all out on the field. Obviously, the Queensland team, they had their moments earlier in the first half, but New South Wales, they did well to play the 80-minute game that this is.
Yeah, and I think that the big one to see there is obviously the possession, 61 to 39, and the errors. When you take away the 2 penalties that New South Wales conceded, they only made the 1 error versus the Queensland 5. And that is just not acceptable at this level, that kind of deficit, if you want to be competitive. That led to them making 40 more tackles than New South Wales, which really gassed them out. And that's really the story of the night. We look at some individual stats now. Queensland first, Coward with a monster 257 run meters. He was huge, as well as 14 tackles at the back. He really had a crack. Digby Johnson, no wonder he was tired, 24 tackles. But only 8 runs from the lock is quite interesting. Tyler Doonan, 103 metres. Josh Strange, 91 metres and 17 tackles. So you can just see the tackle numbers are just huge. Josh Slow had 16 tackles in his 60 minutes. When the players are making those kind of tackles, it's just hard to really have an impact on the offensive side, as we just see the run meters aren't quite there, at least compared to what I suspect we'll see from the Blues pretzel.
Yeah, absolutely. As we take a bit of a look over on this side, and yeah, Cashman, he got a couple runs out of dummy half. As I believe you say there, Sinico, dummy half stats don't exist, so we'll look past that. Lachlan Martin Jr. up there with 173 run meters, couple tackles, and couple line breaks. Zach Robinson and Bailey Munro Johns both up to that 130 run meters. A couple tackles each for them there. Obviously, Bailey Munro 8 tackles, so he definitely got he got the lighter of the duties in terms of the fullback duties between the two states. They didn't have much to do in terms of defense. Jack Anderson, 125 run meters. Alex Neil
in 40 minutes. That is outstanding.
That is actually, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even see the time. That is actually some great effort there. 6 tackles, 4 line breaks, all in the space of that time. That's pretty insane. I mean, even in the Mines format as well, getting over 100 run meters is
in a shorter
crazy.
time frame.
Because 5 minutes a half shorter, I believe. 15-minute halves we run. So, yeah, great job from all the players all around, really. Jay McBob just getting shy of that in under 35 minutes as well. 12 tackles for Mitch Barnes in the second row position. You usually see that number 12 make a few more tackles. 12 and 1, that's not too bad. As we look down the line there, obviously tackles we're looking a lot less of. As you mentioned, Queensland, they did the brunt of the defence. Was it 40 more tackles more, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
And we should highlight Munster Mash. 0 touches of the ball in 40 minutes.
Yeah, he made 5 tackles, however.
He had a kick, sorry. Just no runs, just one kick.
However, yeah, both sides played really well. New South Wales, they take out game 1. Stay tuned to SRL TV because we've got the main event. We've got the main event coming up very shortly. New South Wales and Queensland. Any final words, Nico?
Brion game 2. That was exciting.
Fair enough. I'm all meant for the main event that's about to happen.
Yes, of course. That's what I'm focused on right now, as I am playing that one. But
Yes, you are.
mine's game 2. It'll be tantalising. Queensland, they're going to need to show up, and I reckon they will.
Absolutely. You always want to see a competitive game too. I mean, I always do. You probably would love to see a dredging.
Thrashing.
Well, anyway, I've been the Mines Commissioner, Josh Pretzel, and Snicko, thank you for being in the box with me. Stay tuned, and you'll have a Riley Murray that joins the box with myself.